Hi everyone, my name is Mark Deere, and today I wanted to talk about something that kind of follows on from one of my earlier videos, where I want to talk about, I was talking to someone about this the other day. I'm the hardest working person I've ever met. I don't think I've ever met anyone who works harder than me, but for no money. Now, there's a lot of things to unpack in that, and so I guess I'll just get started. But yeah, my whole life I always got taught, work hard, and this is like from when I was very young, from a working class family. It's like, if you work hard, study hard, do your best, you will succeed and the world will take care of you. But I feel like that is not the way it's worked out. And that's because there's a piece of advice that's hidden that I don't think the people who were giving me that advice at any level, like my teachers, parents, family, none of them knew, because I came from a working class background, so I only really ever interacted with working class people. The other day I talked about Martin Eden syndrome, when all you've interacted with is working class people and you encounter upper class people, you are an absolute fish out of water, you don't know what to do. And I've never really had any kind of goal to make a lot of money. I made a video about money and how I've made money, but it's never been the goal. And I think that's sort of the problem, I guess, that working hard for no money. Like, I always thought I'll help others, and you even hear from people who talk about this sort of stuff. They say, like, just create value. Don't think about money, just create value. And I think about the amount of value I've created in my life, but generally to be exploited, right? Like, when I was working in business, I wasn't charging enough and I wasn't getting paid anywhere near what I was worth. Over the years, it's like I would always settle. I talked about that in another video, always settling, because I never had any clear goal or any clear thoughts or thinking around money. And so, yeah, I think the people who succeed aren't necessarily the hardest working. You often hear that quote, work smarter, not harder, And so I wouldn't say I'm the smartest person I've ever met, I don't think I work smart. I think I work hard, and whatever it is, I'll put everything into it. I'll do my best. And it's in a lot of ways had a great effect on people. I have a lot of people who speak highly of me, and I'm sure you're the same. If you work hard, there'll be people that they work hard, they see it, it gets seen. But to then translate that or cash that in for some sort of value, like the value you provide, getting value in return, that's something I'm yet to experience. And again, even in my last video that I just recorded today, I was talking about abundance. And I feel like it's just something that I'm yet to come to grips with, I'm yet to come to grips with it, because I think if you have to just work hard, create value, and abundance will come to you, I don't know, maybe I have some blockage and I don't know what that blockage is. But for one, the goal's never been to make money, and I think this is something I've been thinking about a lot on my leave, is that what would have happened if I'd had a goal of making money? But then I've definitely read books about this, like businessy stuff, and they say the goal can't be money. You just need to focus on the value you create. And I'm like, well, I've created a lot of value in my life. So I just don't know. Today is the day I'm asking for help in the comments, right? Like, what would you do? What do you think? And I guess this is the hardest thing. When because I was speaking to someone the other day, and they were saying, you just got to, work hard and you'll figure it out. And I'm like, no. I am the hardest working person I know. Like, Candice and I, my wife, have worked so hard our whole lives. And yeah, it hasn't paid off financially. Like, we're doing fine. But I just feel like, I feel like I am missing some piece of the puzzle. Maybe it's because of the background I come from. Maybe it's because my ears have been closed to it, or I'm naive to it, or I don't know. But yeah, I feel like it's that classic thing of what got you here, because I'm not unhappy with where I am. And that's, I think, the thing. Oh, maybe I need to say, yes, I'm unhappy with where I am. What I'm saying is, I love the experiences I've had and the things I've done, right? The last 20 years making movies. And if you don't know about that, watch my other videos. I talk about that a lot in my other videos. What I've done, I'm happy with those things, but it's that classic line of, what got you here won't get you there. And that's where I am now. Like, what got you here won't get you there. And where is there? And that's what I'm grappling with, is I haven't decided where there is. And I've talked about this in a few other videos. I keep saying that, but it's kind of part of a larger idea and a larger conversation than just what I'm talking about with you today in this video. But I think if you can nail that down, and if I can nail that down, what is there? it'll become pretty obvious pretty quickly that what got me here won't get me there. It'll just keep me here. What got me here is the same. I'm just going to do the same. But it's time to change. I had a video the other day where I talked about changing everything. Like what would happen if you just did the opposite of everything? Flip everything. And it's like, I don't think that's necessarily the answer, but it's a reaction to a real problem with a real solution, which is what got you here won't get you there. And so, yeah, I think it's funny where I would always, my whole life, take pride in the fact that I worked hard and take pride in the fact that I helped so many people, right? Because I do, I help a lot of people in my life and I always put myself last. It's like, and see, you see it as like people pleasing, I guess. It's like a limiting belief. It's not actually, people get helped by me because of my issue, not because I'm helpful. And maybe that's the thing blocking the abundance. It's like the motivation behind the help. But I help just because I do. It's like you just help. That's what you do, right? Like I don't really think about it. I just do. I just put myself last. But I think, yeah, there's a lot to reflect on. And I think where I was younger and I took a lot of pride in being, I've talked about perfectionism in another video, and being a perfectionist and working harder than anyone else I knew, doing the best, like always trying my best in everything and putting everything into everything. I used to take a lot of pride in that. But now I think I see being the hardest working person I know as me just being a sucker. You know, it's like I'm working hard and other people are taking advantage and reaping the rewards of the work I've done. And other people exploit what I offer to do, you know? And I think I'm tired of being exploited. And I'm tired of I just want to work hard on my own projects. Here's the thing. In this series, right? I got to introduce the series again. I do it in every video, and I always say I won't to keep the video short, and I always do. I'm making 100 videos in 100 days. I'm on long service leave from work for a few months. And because I worked for 10 years as a teacher. Before that, I worked for 11 years in film. And during that 11 years, I made 5 feature films, 3 of them finished. It's 20 years ago in 2025 that in November 2025, it's November 2025 now, in November of 2005, we did the second premiere of our first feature film called Maribor ... So I'm making a documentary about 20 years being a creative, right? But for the first time, I'm putting myself on camera. I made a video about that. I'm sharing my process with the world, right? So it's almost like I'm being selfish, self-centered, saying, look at me, for the first time in my life, right? In my last video, I talked about how I've always done what I wanted, but I've never gotten what I wanted. And this feeds into that as well, because it's like I've never put myself out there. I was happy being behind the camera, but I've never put myself out there. I've never, and I had a business, and the business did well. You know, I talked about a video on money where I talked about business, so you can go watch that. But it didn't do amazingly. It didn't go all the way. And I'm sure the reason for that was I was helping people and allowing myself to be exploited rather than deciding what I wanted and going for it, which is what I talked about in the last video. And so, yeah, being the hardest working person I know, there's a lot of ants here. Being the hardest working person I know, it has helped me in a lot of ways. And I have had success in a lot of ways. But as I said in a video long ago, and I've said in a few since then, I don't want to just survive anymore. I want to thrive. And I've had other videos where I talked about abundance. It keeps coming up in every video. So it's obviously what's on my mind these last couple months. But yeah, I don't think being the hardest working person I know is serving me like it could if I had this missing piece. And I don't know what the missing piece is. I know what got me here won't get me there. Now I just need to know what'll get me there, you know? And I mean, look, I said I'm doing 100 videos in 100 days while I share my process while I work on the documentary, Confessions of a Failed Filmmaker. And yeah, figuring out what'll get me there is probably what I'll do for the next 60 odd videos. I don't know what video number I'm up to at this point, but you know, there's a lot of videos still to come. I'm almost at the halfway point, but yeah, it's like I've got more than half to go. So if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. You can follow the journey with me. Maybe you're in a similar situation to where I'm at right now and you don't know what to do. Maybe you've gotten a certain level of success, but you don't know how to go to the next level. I think that's the thing. I'd plateau at this success level in a few different fields, but I never went the whole way. And that's what I'm gonna try and figure out now. Since this video, I'm talking about it now. But this idea has been playing on my mind lately and I said it to someone the other day, and I said it again and again, because I used it as a defense mechanism. It's like, no, you've never met anyone who works this hard. Like, you've seen me over the years. I work so hard. But again, working hard, it doesn't help. Not when there's politics happening, not when other people are taking back doors to figure out how to get what you want, you know. But again, I've never articulated what I want, so someone else can take it. It's complicated. I don't know if this is going to sound like me being a victim. I'm not trying to sound that way. If anything, it's just, I'm grappling to find an answer, and I can talk all around it without getting that answer. Maybe it's time for me to find a coach or something, I don't know. Anyway, tell me in the comments, have you had this problem and then figured it out? Because yeah, I'm gonna start reading a lot more extensively about mindset and abundance. I know about the growth mindset versus fixed mindset. I read the Carol Dweck book, it was an excellent book. But I feel like it's something about success, my mindset around success, something I've never really researched that much because I've never really had goals beyond, I want to do this, okay, I'll do it. Or I want to achieve this project or achieve this. But it's never been monetary, it's never been about the outcome, getting something. It's like, can I finish this film? Not, can I get a film, you know, can I be in Hollywood or something? I don't know. Anyway, this will all play into the documentary as I work on it, keep working on it. But yeah, I don't know, what got me here won't get me there. And I don't know, working the hardest, I don't know. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. If you didn't already subscribe, I'd love for you to subscribe. It's starting to rain, I can feel drips of rain on me. It's a nice day there and a not nice day there. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.